The day I realized my parents had been breaking into my apartment wasn't the day everything fell apart. It was the day I finally understood just how far they were willing to go. I came home one evening to lights I hadn't turned on, meals I hadn't prepared, blankets shaped by bodies that weren't mine. Every corner of the apartment whispered that I wasn't truly living alone. People often say family crosses lines out of love. But what if crossing lines becomes the only way they know how to hold you? I wasn't always this cautious. There was a time I believed boundaries were simple. You draw a line, people respect it. In my family, a line was just something to step over. Maybe that's why, at 29, I still flinched when my phone lit up with my mother's name, or when my father's voice slipped into that soft, guilt-laced tone he used whenever he wanted something quietly surrendered. Growing up, privacy was a fantasy. My bedroom door might as well have been made of glass. My mother, Evelyn, walked in whenever she pleased, sometimes humming, sometimes silent, always searching. She picked up notebooks, skimmed pages, asked questions masked as concern. "You hide too much," she'd say, never pausing to wonder why I felt the need to hide at all. My father, Thomas, never interfered. He'd shrug, mutter something about keeping the peace, then let her continue. Meanwhile, my younger sister Lyanna lived like royalty in a kingdom built from exceptions. Her room was off limits, her mess was creativity, and her mistakes were phases. Mine were warnings. Our house ran on two sets of rules, one lenient, one suffocating. And I grew up knowing exactly which set belonged to me. So, when I finally moved into a one-bedroom apartment overlooking the Denver skyline, I believed I had crossed some invisible threshold into adulthood. I bought my own dishes, arranged my bookshelf the way I liked, hung soft string lights that made evenings feel calmer than anything I'd ever known. I breathed differently there, slower, deeper, as if my lungs finally trusted the air around them. But that peace didn't last long. The first time my mother let herself in, she acted like it was a surprise visit, carrying groceries she hadn't asked me if I wanted. She put on an apron she had in her purse and started cooking as if she'd been waiting all week for the chance. My father settled onto my couch, claiming he just wanted to see the view, though his eyes kept drifting toward my mail on the counter. I told myself it was a misunderstanding, a one-time overstep I could explain. But explaining to my mother had never changed anything before, and it didn't now. Then came the smaller violations. Containers moved, clothes I hadn't worn in months appearing in the laundry, a faint imprint on my pillow, Lyanna borrowing my sweater without asking, my laptop left open to tabs I didn't recognize. Each incident was small enough to excuse, but together, they felt like a tide rising beneath my feet. I knew the pattern. I had lived it before. My mother called it love, my father called it protection, and I was supposed to call it normal. Except this time, it wasn't their house. It was mine. And deep down, I sensed something I wasn't brave enough to admit. If I didn't stop them soon, they would take this place from me too. The shift didn't happen all at once. It was slow, quiet, like a draft slipping through a window I thought was sealed. I would come home from work and notice something slightly off. A cabinet left open, spices rearranged, folded towels stacked edge out instead of edge in. Harmless things easy to dismiss. But that's how my mother worked. Not with storms, but breezes that eventually became winds strong enough to push me back into place. One Thursday evening, I returned to find my refrigerator reorganized, just as she used to do at home. Produce on top, proteins in the middle, temptation foods tucked behind everything else. The frozen meals I had bought for busy weeks were gone. In their place sat jars of her soups, her dressings, her preferences. A curated life, hers, not mine. I stood there with the cold air spilling out, realizing I wasn't imagining any of this. I was being managed. Lyanna treated my apartment like a bonus level in a video game she already owned. I'd catch traces of her everywhere. Mascara smudges near my mirror, half-finished iced coffee cups in the sink, clothes tossed over the back of my chair. When I confronted her, she laughed it off. "Relax, Riley. You act like I'm a stranger," she said, implying the problem wasn't her crossing lines but me wanting them respected. The breaking point came 2 weeks later. I walked in after a long day, hoping for silence, only to find my laptop open on the coffee table. Pages I hadn't written, searches I hadn't made, windows I hadn't opened, all staring at me. One of my project drafts lay half-clicked, as though someone had started reading and got bored halfway through. My chest tightened. Called my mother. "Oh, sweetheart, don't be dramatic," she said when I asked if she'd been there. "Your landlord let me in. I told him you hadn't been answering, and I was worried. Honestly, you should be grateful someone's looking out for you." "Mom," I whispered, "you lied to get into my home." "That's not lying. It's concern. You work too hard. You isolate. You need support." Support. That word felt like a trap closing. After we hung up, I sat on the floor against the couch, letting the weight of everything settle. Every memory from childhood, the open journals, monitored texts, tracked locations, flooded back in one suffocating wave. This wasn't new. It was the same pattern revived and emboldened. The next morning I couldn't focus at work. I booked a therapy session during lunch. My therapist listened, then leaned forward and said gently, "Riley, this isn't concern. It's infringement. These aren't accidents. They're boundary violations." It was the first time someone named what I had been too scared to articulate. "Your home isn't safe," she added softly. "Not emotionally, not psychologically. You need distance. They can't override." I walked into the cold Denver air with one thought repeating like a heartbeat. If I stay here, they'll never stop. Once the truth settled, the kind that barges straight through your chest, I knew staying meant surrendering. My therapist's words echoed. "You need distance. They can't override." She didn't mean a conversation or a firmer tone. She meant escape. Real, traceable, physical distance. So, I did something I never imagined doing. I sat at my tiny kitchen table, opened my laptop and typed, "Secure apartment buildings, Denver." Scrolling through listings, I realized how small my world had been. Privacy had always felt like a privilege other people got to enjoy. That night, for the first time, privacy felt like something I could choose. I found a building downtown. Keycard access, a staffed lobby, cameras in every hallway, elevators that required authorization. A place where no one could charm their way inside. Not even my mother. I scheduled a tour for the next morning. The moment I stepped into the lobby, I felt it. Warm lighting, the quiet hum of air vents, polished floors reflecting city lights. It was a space built for people who needed walls as much as air. The leasing agent showed me a corner unit with tall windows and a locked balcony. I imagined a silence that belonged solely to me. I signed the lease before fear could talk me out of it. The move had to happen in secret. No chance for my mother to guilt me. No opportunity for Lyanna to turn it into a spectacle. Mara and Jonah, friends I trusted, offered to help the moment I told them, showing up after midnight with hoodies and gloves like we were planning a heist. "Tell me again why we're whispering," Jonah murmured as we taped boxes. "If they show up," I whispered, "I won't be able to leave." We packed quietly, methodically, leaving behind anything that felt too recognizable. Mugs my mom bought for my own good, sweaters Lyanna claimed, frames my father insisted I hang. I wanted nothing they could claim. At 2 a.m., the moving truck rumbled softly outside. We loaded my life in the dark, each trip down the hallway feeling like a countdown. When the truck pulled away, I locked the door one last time and slid the emergency key my mother once waved like a badge into an envelope addressed to the landlord. No explanation, no forwarding address. At the new building, the night staff checked my ID, handed me a sleek black keycard, and welcomed me by name. That small gesture felt like a quiet revolution. As I stepped into my new apartment, the door clicking shut behind me, one line formed sharply in my mind. I moved not out of spite or rebellion, but because disappearing was the only way to finally become visible to myself. For the first 3 days, I kept my phone on silent and face down. I let the world shrink to the steady hum of the building, the echo of my footsteps, the unfamiliar comfort of knowing every sound inside these walls came from me and only me. I slept without jolting awake. I cooked without wondering who would rearrange my ingredients. It felt like oxygen I hadn't breathed in years. But peace in my family never lasted long. On the morning of day 4, I finally flipped my phone over. The screen lit up like a warning flare. Dozens of missed calls, frantic texts, voicemails stacked minutes apart. My mother, my father, Lionel. Even numbers I didn't recognize, likely neighbors from my old building. Riley, answer immediately. This isn't funny. Where are you? We're coming. Call us right now. And then Lionel's post on social media. My sister is missing. Please pray she comes home. Missing. The irony almost made me laugh. The longer I scrolled, the more I sensed it wasn't just panic. It was spiraling. I set the phone down, trying to slow my breathing when it rang again. Unknown number. Something told me to pick up. Is this Riley Morgan? A calm voice asked. Yes. This is Officer Ramirez with the Denver Police Department. Are you safe? I swallowed, voice steady. I am. What happened? Members of your family were involved in an incident at your former residence. We need you to come down to the station to verify a few details. I closed my eyes, exhaling slowly. I'll come right away. At the station, fluorescent lights hummed above rows of chairs. A receptionist directed me to a small conference room. Inside, my family's presence hit me like a slap. My mother sat at the table, mascara smudged, tears streaking her cheeks. My father hovered nearby, jaw clenched. Lionel paced, arms folded, face blotchy. Oh my God, where have you been? We thought you were dead, my mother gasped. Her panic masked something else. Accusation. I'm fine, I said quietly. You shouldn't have been at my apartment. That's not your apartment anymore, my father muttered. Officer Ramirez entered. Let's all sit, she said. My mother collapsed into her chair, clutching tissues like props. I remained standing until motioned to a seat. Ms. Morgan, the officer began. We need to clarify your whereabouts because your family reported you missing. I wasn't missing, I said. You moved, my mother repeated, voice cracking. Yes, I answered simply. Lionel rolled her eyes. You're being ridiculous. If you had just told us, none of this would have happened. Officer Ramirez cleared her throat. According to witnesses, your family attempted to force entry into a unit that wasn't theirs. That's a lie, my mother snapped. We thought Riley was inside. We were trying to save her. You're supposed to respect her privacy, the officer said. She's an adult. Her absence is not a crime. The room fell heavy with silence. I moved because you wouldn't stop entering my home, I said. You lied to my landlord, I reminded her. You told him I was unstable so he'd let you in. She flinched but recovered quickly. I was worried. You read my things. You reorganized my home. You gave Lionel a key. Lionel scoffed. Oh please. You act like I stole something. You stole my space. My safe place, I said. Officer Ramirez slid a form across the table. Would you like to formally document these boundary concerns? It's not a restraining order, but it records expectations moving forward. My mother's lips trembled. I met her eyes. I didn't do anything to you. I just stopped letting you do things to me. Silence. Heavy. Necessary. Slowly my parents signed. Lionel signed last. Jaw tight, eyebrows raised, understanding finally dawning. You can still be in my life, I said. But you can't be in my home. Officer Ramirez nodded. As I walked out, the cold Denver air wrapped around me like a clean slate. Freedom. Earned. Chosen. Undeniable. Days after the station felt unusually quiet. In my new apartment, mornings were slow. I opened the blinds and let the sunlight spill across the floors. A reminder that this space, this peace, belonged entirely to me. No unexpected footsteps. No rearranged spices. No lingering fear. My family kept their distance. We met only in neutral places. A quiet cafe near Union Station. My mother arrived carefully, unsure which rules applied. My father listened more than he spoke. Lina surprisingly softened. None of us pretended things were perfect, but for the first time they treated my space, emotional and physical, as something real, valid. As the weeks passed, I expanded into the life I had pushed aside. I breathed deeper, slept fully, existed without bracing for impact. Sometimes healing isn't loud. Sometimes it's the simple sound of a locked door staying locked. Leaving wasn't punishment. It was the first time I chose myself without apology. My family still exists in my life, just at a distance that finally lets me breathe. If you've ever had to fight for your space, for the right to feel safe in the place you call home, you're not alone.